What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, and what a lovely Sunday it is today, and what a lovely Saturday, even better, what it was yesterday. And we're going to get into all the nitty-gritty of the game yesterday and everything else as well.
First time that Arsenal have lost and we've won in the same week. Because they've only lost one other game.
When they lost to Liverpool, didn't we win that weekend?
I think we lost to Bournemouth that same weekend.
Did we lose to Bournemouth that weekend?
So...
Happy days, mate.
We haven't had
absolutely happy days
in a long time. And Arsenal lost and Spurs win. It's been a while.
We'll give you a reaction. A lot to talk about regarding the game yesterday, and I think most Spurs fans, majority of Spurs fans, are in an absolutely brilliant mood this lovely Sunday. But apologies, because we're going to have to bring the mood down temporarily at the start of this stream to talk about Mr. Yves Bissouma, because he has been, he's been caught out filming himself doing laughing gas once again. There was a report in The Sun yesterday saying that Tottenham have said they have launched a probe after footage has emerged of Yves Bissouma using nitrous oxide balloon at a party. Bissouma was suspended for a one-match ban by Spurs for a similar incident last year, but is now facing the prospect of tougher disciplinary action. We saw last week that Yves Bissouma removed all kind of Tottenham-related posts from his Instagram, and we know that he's had various amounts of suspensions from Tottenham Hotspur before. Last season was that, first balloon gate number 1, and this season Thomas Frank suspended him for, multiple late showings to training, and now this is another kind of thing on a growing list for Yves Bissouma. He does only have 6 months left in his contract, and it did feel like at the beginning of the season Spurs were desperately trying to sell him in the summer, and he didn't have a future. Well, if there was any thought of him trying to fight his way back in the team once he does return for injury, I think this has put the final nail in the coffin. Absolute disgrace, man, Yves Bissouma. Like, what are you doing? Like, seriously, you're a Premier League footballer. To do it once, you're like, all right, you're an absolute disgrace. What you're doing is a brain dead moment. But to do it again, twice, what are you thinking? Like, this man is a serious disgrace to professionalism and to professional sport. I'm sorry.
I think there's even suggestions we could rip up his contract at this point, but it's ridiculous. I think for me, it's just how stupid can you be recording yourself? There's one thing like doing it privately or whatever, and like this bad enough. Obviously you shouldn't be doing it as a professional footballer, but look, I'm not going to tell him what to do, but recording it and posting it, I don't know who posted it online, if it was him or a friend or whatever it is, but allowing himself to be recorded off the back of, you've had suspension already for this, and then getting it leaked, and all of a sudden he's now facing having potentially his contract ripped up or of severe suspension. I think it's just so dumb. Like, have some sense. Like, if you're going to do it, don't record yourself. How hard is it? Why do you have to show everyone that you're doing it? I don't understand. Why are you recording it with your phone? I understand everyone's got a phone, everyone's got a camera, and these things happen, but I just don't understand. Once is a mistake, and whatever, it happened, it was terrible then, but like, to let it happen again, I think maybe he just doesn't give a shit. Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he wants his contract ripped up. Like, maybe he thinks he can get a payoff from Tottenham and get his contract ripped up, and he can be a free agent. Maybe that's what he's trying to do. Maybe he just doesn't care. And we've seen, as you said, all his Spurs mentions on Instagram have now been removed. So I wonder if that's off the back of either the club telling him, look, you're done here. We're not even going to allow you a chance to fight your way back, even when you are fit. So we're going to try and force you out in January. Maybe it's the club saying, we don't want you associated with us. Please remove everything. Maybe it's them telling him that, or maybe it's him being obviously like after hearing the news from Tottenham saying you're done. He's like, okay, well, fuck you, basically, and I'm not a Tottenham player anymore. I don't know exactly the ins and outs of what's been happening behind the scenes, but all I do know is how brain dead can you be to do it again?
The guy has got such immense talent. We've seen it before on the pitch. It's such a waste of a career. Look, it hasn't gone right ever since joining Tottenham. We've seen him perform on moments. First 10 games of Ange. a couple of, the Europa League run towards the end last season. I thought he was pretty good, but it's just been too few and far between for the amount of talent that the boy does have. But you're looking at Basuma moving forward and past Tottenham. Like, when people start seeing these misdemeanors, like, Ange criticising him coming late to training, Thomas Frank suspending him for coming late to training, 2 balloon incidents as well, like, what serious club is even going to take him on after all that? You know what I mean? He's going to probably end up... Where's he going to end up? Saudi, Turkey,
yeah.
Someone like that. Like, he's not going to play at another top club in Europe, I'll tell you that.
In the summer, the only clubs that were real close to him were clubs in Turkey anyway, and now this has happened. So, yeah, it seems as though he's not going to have a queue of clubs lining up for him at this point to take him on, despite the fact that we know on his day he's a fantastic player. But unfortunately, he gets in his own way, I think, and that's the reality.
Yves Bissouma tripping in for Yves Bissouma up. It's a shame. It's a big shame because, when he signed for Tottenham, we all had such high hopes for him, and we all thought that, we're signing one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. Because that's what he was showing at Brighton. But it's just been a terrible signing, all in all, unfortunately. And I think it's right for Spurs to rip up this contract in January unless they can get some money in from a Turkish team or something. But yeah, we all know his Spurs career, if it wasn't done before, it's most definitely done now, that's for sure.
THFCK says Marseille. They do like to sign these rejects with players who are known to have bad attitudes and all this kind of stuff. Well, you know what? If there's one club maybe that would take him on in the top league, maybe it is them.
He didn't play for De Zerbi, did he?
No.
He played for Potter.
Potter, yeah.
Yeah, look, I can't even see someone like De Zerbi wanting him, to be honest. I really can't. Maybe in the history of Marseille they'd be looking to take him on, but I just can't see it, mate. I just can't see it. I think it's time that this chapter gets closed. Look, I've been calling for his sell for quite some time now, and it's just got worse and worse and worse. That's the reality.
Yeah, he needs to get out of this club. At the end of the day, I haven't even felt like he's been part of the club for a while now, to be honest, anyway. So I don't know if he hasn't been in training. Look, maybe he's not even injured. Maybe he's been banished. Who knows? But at the moment...
Yeah, look, he wasn't called up to the last international break. So that suggests that there is an injury there. And we saw him go off with an injury in the previous international break to that. So, look, I do think there's been an injury there, but he's just an idiot. There's no other word to describe him than just being an idiot, unprofessional, and he has no place in the Premier League, I don't think.
But he also must not be in a good place, like himself. So I do kind of feel for him because he's been, surplus to requirements. No one's coming in for him. He's got a bad injury as well. He's gone from, as you say, being one of the top midfielders or one of the most sought-after midfielders in the league. And ever since coming to Tottenham, he's shown patches of form, but never really got going. And now he's completely surplus to requirements at Tottenham. No one seems to want him. No one seems to be coming in for him as well. And for a player of his talent, that should never be the case. But at the end of the day, he has to look at himself.
Yeah, exactly. Look, this is like we said. This isn't a new thing. This isn't a new thing with Yves Bissouma. So I couldn't understand it, but I could kind of let it go if it was just one thing to go off. But it's just a long list of things with Yves Bissouma now. And with 6 months left in his contract come January, it won't actually even be that expensive for Spurs to just rip that contract up. So we'll see what happens when January comes around. I'm sure... I don't know. I don't even know if he's going to be going to the AFCON and if he's fit enough to go or not. But we'll wait and see what happens. But for me... with Yves Bissouma, it's just time. It's just time, and it's probably been time for a long time. So
I think if it was up to Spurs, he would have gone last summer. I don't think it's for the want of trying.
Yeah, absolutely. But nobody wants to take him. The only clubs that came in for Turkey, he didn't want to go to Turkey. He thought he was, a bit better than that. And in terms of his talent, he is. But, a player comes as a whole package, not just your talent. So, yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, he's played his last game for Tottenham. We all know that. So whether he gets ripped up or not, he's not going to be part of the squad or playing for us anytime. Again, that's it.
Very true. Very true. So that is the Yves Bissouma situation. Unfortunately, this is what happens. We're going to move on and we're going to talk about the game. because the game is a lot more happier than talking about the Yves Bissouma situation. Tottenham 2, Brentford 0, and that is exactly what we needed to see yesterday. You know, is exactly what we've wanted over the last couple of weeks, serving up dross after dross after dross. And look, there has been a few things to take from, you know, at least 3 of the 4 last games now, taking Brentford into account. So you can say that potentially Spurs are on a bit of an upward curve after just seeming like there's no kind of light at the end of the tunnel. But yesterday I thought everything from start to finish was just absolutely spot on. I questioned the lineup when I first saw it. I was like, I didn't even know what kind of system that we were playing, because you saw Muani and Richarlison there. Is he trying to go back to that 4-2-2-2, or is it 4-2-3-1 with Richarlison? I thought it was going to be, if anything, Richarlison on the left and Muani through the middle. But he went for Muani down the left and Richarlison through the middle in a 4-2-3-1. Javi absolutely could, you know, best performance by far in a Spurs shirt, and it looks like that could be the kind of birth of his Spurs career. I thought, me being at the stadium yesterday, you could tell as soon as I got to the stadium, you know, fans were buoyant because Aston Villa had just scored and put Aston Villa 2-1 up, and I think like that was like just the perfect start to the day, where you walk into the stadium and everyone's just buzzing from the off, and it had nothing to do with Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah,
everyone's already in a good mood. I was so gassed when I was watching Arsenal losing, because we haven't had anything to really celebrate for a lot this season, to be honest. But that was obviously a great start to the day, and maybe just put a pep in everyone's step going into this game. And obviously we started pretty much from minute 1 with intensity, intent, and we took the game to Brentford. We pressed them, we suffocated them. It was reminiscent of old school Pochettino performances at home. That's kind of how I would kind of describe it, like just suffocating the opposition, being absolutely relentless in our pressing. And we haven't really seen that too much this season. I think we tried to start the season in that vein of form, and we kind of, especially against Man City, if you remember that game, like we were pressing very intensely for a large parts of that game. But for some reason, our pressing, whether it be teams figuring it out or the players being less intense, we just haven't got it properly going. Like, we haven't been able to suffocate opposition like we did yesterday. And yesterday was like the first time in a while we've been really able to force loads of mistakes out of the opposition, create chances from our pressing, and really just put our foot on the opposition's necks and basically kill the game in that sense. And Brentford, I think, is as impressive as it was that we were able to create the amount of chances we were as well. Brentford had very little during that game, and I think that's just because they were being rushed into long passes. They weren't able to get any sort of passing game going. Damsgaard was completely out of the game. You know, they were just forced to try and go long to Thiago and see if they can get any joy there. And I think it was a much better performance from Spurs in a timely manner as well. We needed it. It was a performance which, you know, Frank needed that performance, especially at home. We just needed a good performance and a good win. And a game where not only were we the favourites, not only did we dominate, but we actually were impressive in that game. And it's just been so few and far between. So it was great. And I think the formation 4-2-3-1 is probably where we've looked our best this season, and we have played that formation. So for me, it's no surprise to stop with the tinkering, go back to that formation. But we haven't started a game yet with Muani off the left, Rishi up front, with Xavi in the 10. That's probably, you would say, our best 4 attackers, isn't it? So having them all on the pitch at the same time, and all of a sudden they're all, Frank is saying, in better kind of they're in a better way physically. He was saying actually in his game in the press conference that Kudus has obviously been struggling with a bit of an injury, and he seemed to get over it yesterday. Muani's in a better physical state. I think Richarlison looks so much better physically as well, and obviously Xavi got his first start in 4 games. So they all looked sharper, more energetic, and they started to click yesterday, and that was really encouraging.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you mentioned before about, you know, reminiscent of a Pochettino Spurs team. The way Spurs played yesterday, that's exactly how you expect and you want a Spurs team to play, particularly at home against the team that we're favourites against. You know, so aggressive, winning the ball in key areas, everyone with a single track mind to just consistently create chances, like wave after wave after wave. And it's just been like an absolute far cry of what we've seen at all, particularly at home this season. And it was a welcome return to that kind of mentality and that mode, and such a delight to see, man. It really was. And, you know, at the halftime whistle goes and the whole stadium rise to their feet and give them a massive ovation, and it was just great to see. But we need to kick on from here, don't we? Like, it's great to see it, and you know, Frank has been chopping and changing so much, and has led to like disjointed performances, lack of attacking intent, lack of intensity. He seems like he's been chopping and changing so much, he's found something that's actually worked and worked really well. So he needs to persist with this now, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so. But is it any surprise, like, he put those players on the pitch together and they started to click? That's what we've all been saying. No more Ben Score Paulinho, he did that. Get Xavi in the 10, he did that. You know, try and find a solution for the left wing, he did that. We did that for yesterday anyway. So I think it's things that a lot of fans have been calling for in terms of the lineup and how we want to set up. Also, another thing, be more aggressive when it comes to your game plan, in a sense that don't keep focusing on how to stop the opposition, and actually come up with a plan to make them think about what you can do. And I think that's what we did yesterday. It seems like yesterday, it might not have been the case on the training pitch, but it seemed yesterday to me like we were just playing our game and we weren't bothered about what Brentford were trying to do. Our plan for Brentford was just press them high, make sure they're not getting any time on the ball, make sure they're not getting time to play their passing game, and just snap in the tackles and be confident and be intense. And when we do get the ball, just play your game. Don't like think about their weaknesses, just play to your strengths. And that's exactly what we did yesterday. It seems as though the game plan was just focusing on ourselves, and that's something that we haven't seen a lot of from Spurs and from Thomas Frank so far this season. It seems as though he told the players, look, today we're focusing on ourselves, we're going to play our game. I also noticed a few things in terms of difference. I've noticed Porro yesterday was flying forward compared to recent weeks, well, majority of the season I should say, where he's kind of been playing in off the ball in like a 3 with the 2 centre-backs, and he's been hanging back. Yesterday, he was definitely tasked with overlapping Kudus and getting flying forward. I was looking at the average positions, because in my mind, I was like, I'm pretty sure he's playing a lot higher up today. And if you look at the average positions on the passing maps, he's a lot further forward than he has been in previous games. So to have 2 flying wing backs, I think really helped the wingers not be so isolated and not be always in 1 versus 2 situations, giving support. And obviously he was a big threat as well. He was constantly getting to the byline and getting crosses in. So that was obviously really positive. And yeah, I just think, for me, I don't know why it took him so long to get Xavi in the 10 and play this kind of way, but look, better late than never, and let's hope we start to see, especially in these kind of games at home to an inferior team. Like, why couldn't he have done this against Wolves? Why couldn't he have done this against Fulham? Why couldn't he have done this in a lot of the other games we've been playing this season at home, when we should be taking the game to opposition? But he's been way too conservative. But maybe the penny's dropped now. Yeah,
100%. Let's hope so anyway, because look, so far it's just 1 game, and we need to see it on a consistent basis. We need to see it moving forward. But I completely agree with you with the fullbacks. I mean, Porro put in his best performance probably of the season. I thought he was fantastic. You know, it wasn't just him in the areas that he was taken up. I think every time he got on the ball, he was looking to provide quality. Obviously, he played that lovely ball down to Xavi, didn't he? That set us off on our first goal. And Xavi obviously laid on an unbelievable assist for Richarlison. But what I noticed about Porro as well yesterday, I thought he was just super aggressive, and any time the ball was coming down his side their left-hand side, our right-hand side, he was so strong in the challenge. He was aggressive, and he was winning the ball back countless amount of times. And that's the Porro we want to see, man. Quality on the ball and off the ball, really aggressive and winning the ball back countless amount of times. So massive step in the right direction. Because I've given Porro a lot of criticism over the last couple of weeks, and I think it's been warranted. You know, his performances have not been good enough. Yesterday was a massive step in the right direction. You look at that team that started yesterday, I thought that there's not 1 player that can come in for any criticism. I think everyone was fantastic, because we speak about it a lot on this channel, and you know, I'm sure a lot of Spurs fans speaking about it, we try to rely on too many individuals in the team, like Mohamed Kudus on the right, Destiny Udogie on the left at times, and the plan just seems to be like, get it to these players and let them work their magic. Yesterday was a complete team performance. I really believe that. Like, not 1 player you can say anything about, and you got to give credit. Look, it's taken a long time, as you say, to get to this point. You know, we're nearly halfway through the season, but that was our most complete team performance, particularly at home, wasn't it?
Definitely, and offensively, like I think that's probably. I know some people get angry when I talk about expected goals, but that's probably what our best XG of the season. I would say I can't think of a game where we've had better XG in especially at home. But I think throughout the season, I would hazard a guess that's our best one. That's just a prediction. I haven't actually looked at the numbers, but we were so much more offensive. We were so much more creative. And we were so much more exciting to watch. It was actually fun to watch Tottenham yesterday, and it was actually enjoyable, which just hasn't been the case. Just hasn't been the case for large parts of the season. So, I think having those 4 players together was really great. Having just the play through Xavi, having I think as well, it really helped having Bentancur and Gray in a pivot. Not having Bentancur next to Paulinho, having a player who's going to look to be brave on the ball and pass through the lines and actually have the quality as well. Bentancur seemed like a new player yesterday. Archie Gray was so brave, wriggling out of tight situations where you thought surely he's going to lose the ball here, and he ends up, flicking it to one of his players. Kudus looked a lot sharper yesterday. I think Aya had to go off at half time because he was just getting the run around yesterday. He couldn't handle Kudus, and even Rico Henry I think struggled as well. The fullbacks were flying forward, so they were providing attacking options. Romero and Van der Ven were just sweeping up everything that came towards them. Everyone was on point. Everyone was performing for the team, and it was a real exciting performance, energetic performance, and just something we've been missing. For some reason, there's just been this severe lack of intensity throughout the whole season. It's like at home, I don't know whether it's because Brentford decided to go man-to-man and press us quite high yesterday, but we found it quite easy to play through them. And I think that at the end of the day, the key moments came from Xavi Simons just completely getting the better of Vandenberg. It happened in both moments. The first one, it was the ball over the top, and he just spun Vandenberg in behind, and Vandenberg just couldn't keep up with him. And then the second time, he loses the ball and then wins it back off Vandenberg, just sprints past him. The Brentford team completely opened up, and bam, it was 2-0. So I think that Xavi versus Vandenberg being one of their centre-backs, he was clearly tasked with being man-to-man with Xavi. And that's the quality Xavi can give you if you're not on it with him. He can spin you, and he showed his quality yesterday in those moments.
Is that the birth of his Tottenham career yesterday? Because it definitely felt like it.
I hope so. I would say there will be smarter teams, because I think Brentford were too overconfident. I feel like they went man-to-man, which, to be fair, a lot of teams do nowadays, so it's not like anything specific, but Vandenberg was pretty much tasked, okay, wherever Xavi goes, you're following him. And he followed him even into our half, and that cost him. That's what cost him in both moments, because Xavi literally came deeper and deeper and deeper in the first goal, and then he saw Vandenberg, he left a big hole at the back. He's like, I'm going to go for it, I'm going to sprint. And the second time, Vandenberg won the ball off him on the halfway line, and Xavi robbed it back off him. So it was, if they had a smarter defender or a smarter way of playing, would that player have backed off Xavi and not given that space, left that hole in the back line, and maybe we would have found it harder. So I want to just calm down on that sense, but at the end of the day, even if a defender does that, you still have the quality to be better than him, and you still need to exploit it, and he did that phenomenally. He was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I agree with all the points you make, but like a lot of criticism towards Xavi so far this season has been like, he needs to bulk up. He's not physically ready for the Premier League. I mean, it didn't look like that yesterday, didn't he? He was putting himself about. He was winning challenges in the middle of the park. He
ran half the pitch, outpacing the defenders.
Exactly. So, I mean, can we put that to bed now?
I would say so. It was never really an issue I thought is the real issue, what's going on. Not to say that he is the most physical. I'm sure there are 10s in the league like Gibbs-White and Rodgers and, maybe Eze, who are definitely more physical and a bit more robust. But it doesn't mean just because you don't have that element to your game, you're not suited to the league. There are players like Maddison, there's players like Foden, who absolutely thrive in this league because they got the technical ability. And I see someone like Simons, who definitely has that, who's definitely good enough. Because I'll tell you why, because because the amount of fouls he's been winning means it's tough for defenders. Yes, defenders get near him, but they struggle to actually. They have to bring him down a lot of the time. They actually foul him because he does get away from them, which means for me, it is showing me that he can challenge in this league. He can challenge with these players. There's no reason why not, and it's just about getting him in those positions. It's about getting him. How many times has he been in the box this season? We find him once and he gets an assist. Yes, the second goal is a bit different. He has probably found himself in those kind of positions quite often this season where he's running with a lot of space in front of him. But this time, luckily for him, there was a space to attack in the box, and he did, and he got the goal. There hasn't really been that space on a lot of other occasions. But for me, there's no reason why someone like Xavi, just because he's not got the physicality of a lot of other players, he can't be a success in this league. And I think he's got the quality. We saw his brilliance yesterday. I think he was doing things a bit quicker as well, which I think that definitely is something in this league you need to do, because I think in the Bundesliga you do get more space. There's a lot more space in transition, and all the teams are a lot more kind of counter-pressing and gegenpressing and leaving risk and leaving spaces. And when you do attack, there's a lot more space to run into. So in the Premier League, you do need to do that thing that half a second quicker, that whether it a pass or a shot. And he was doing those things, I felt, a little bit quicker yesterday, getting out wide to do this, not kind of dilly-dallying on the ball. So that was really good. So look, it was a very encouraging performance. At the end of the day, again, it's only just like Tottenham. It's only at home against Brentford, and he's going to have tougher tests ahead. But it's such a, like, he needed to show it in a game, just to show the Tottenham fans what he's capable of, and kind of get that monkey off his back of his first goal, because the longer that goes on, it definitely plays on players' minds, especially attacking players like Xavi. It's going to obviously play on his mind. So great that he was able to put in a performance in front of the home fans and get them believing again in what he's capable of, because I've heard so much rubbish about him, even from our own fans, but also opposition fans, about how bad he is and what a flop he is, and he's rubbish and he's no good and we've made a mistake and he's a flop. So he needs to start putting that to bed.
Yeah, and hopefully he can kick on from here, just like the team, and really kickstart our season now, and Xavi's season. Golden assist, first goal in a Spurs shirt, both of such high quality as well. It was really great to see. I mean, the players did have a bit of a point to prove, and I think they came out from minute one with that attitude, and I think a point was proven. And yeah, look, we can all say it was Brentford at home, and Brentford have only won one away game all season.
Which is all true.
Yeah, it was all true, but we just played Fulham, and they hadn't won away game all season, and we found ourselves 2-0 down after 5 minutes. This Spurs team had to prove it against any Premier League opposition. It didn't matter who it was, and Brentford,
not beating Wolves at home, yeah.
You know what I mean? So Brentford, as much as they've been poor on the road this season, they still have impressed in the season in general, and they've looked like a really good counter-attacking outfit.
They played very well, I thought, the Emirates. In midweek.
Yeah, they played decent, and they've caused other teams problems. They barely caused us a problem yesterday, and we were pressing so high up the pitch. You're talking about Porro and Spence's position, but still they couldn't find Sade and Utara in those positions, in those counter-attacking threats, and that is because of the application, the desire, the energy, and the work rate that these Spurs players put in yesterday. So all these Spurs fans saying, "Oh, it's only Brentford this, it's not that impressive." I'm very impressed with what I saw yesterday, because it was just a complete performance.
And they got to start somewhere, don't you?
Exactly. And all these Spurs fans that saying it's only Brentford, I said it on the fan show yesterday, a lot of Spurs fans were predicting losses for us yesterday. So to win in that manner, I think is very impressive.
It is impressive. It was an impressive performance. I think the way we dominated, and I think with the way we gave them so little, was probably the most impressive thing, because I think you are expected. I think obviously we haven't so far this season, but most teams at home to Brentford, you are expected to take the game to them, be brave and create chances. But the fact we haven't done that, and we did that yesterday, was a great start. But I think the fact that we did it without giving much away as well, and the fact that we restricted Brentford while also continuing to just create chances pretty much at will throughout most of the game, I think that shows to me that we are capable of being a team that can be dominant in games, that can attack teams, but also not necessarily having to be wide open when we do that. And I think that's obviously part of the intensity that we showed yesterday, but it's also part of the quality we do have in the team. We showed yesterday the quality we do have. Brentford are a decent outfit. They always give you a difficult game, even games where they lose. So to take them to the cleaners like we did was an impressive victory and it was an impressive performance. But I also think you have to say, look, at the end of the day, it is our first win at home since August. It is only Brentford, and there has to be momentum built off this. And to be fair, we got the draw against Newcastle, which was a good result, albeit the performance wasn't great, but we got a good result, and we were saying we need to build momentum off that, and we have done. So let's hope we continue to build off this.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that starts with an important game on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. I just don't like it when people say, "Oh, it's only Brentford," when a lot of people were predicting Spurs not to win this game. So I just don't like that kind of narrative. I just like to focus more on what Tottenham produced on the pitch yesterday, and that was an absolutely top performance. And you talk about before the dynamic between Bentancur and Archie Gray. Archie Gray really impressed me yesterday. I thought Damsgaard was finding it so hard to get away from him. Damsgaard stinker and hooked after an hour. And I thought it was mainly to do with Archie Gray and the job that he did on him. And not only did he do that job, but he had the mindset to keep progressing the ball and keep going forward. I mean, both of them did a great job at that, but I was even more impressed with Archie Gray on the day.
Yeah, and I think the penny has dropped with Frank when it comes to Gray and Bergvall, because before that PSG game, they were both really struggling to get starts in this team. Well, I guess Bergvall was getting some starts, but Gray was definitely struggling to get some starts in this team. And ever since that game, there's been a constant one of those, at least one of them, sometimes both, have been starting in the 11. So I think Frank has finally realised I need to start getting these guys acclimatised into the team, because they are the future of this team. In a few years, these guys are going to be starting week in, week out together in the Premier League. And I think those are the guys when you look at the ceilings and the quality, those are the guys we need to start implementing in the team as soon as possible. So I'm delighted that Frank is finally giving them starts on a regular basis. And I thought Gray did not let him down yesterday. I thought maybe against Fulham he wasn't great, but on this occasion he just kept his position simple, because I felt like against Fulham there was a bit of confusion. Where is he actually playing? Is it in a pivot? Is it in a... I don't know if the Tottenham players knew what the formation was, let alone the players. There's a lot the fans didn't know. So whether Gray was there was confusion, because he seemed a bit lost in the centre in that game. He didn't know where he was supposed to be. I feel like in this game, just simple. You're in a double pivot next to Bentancur. It's a 4-2-3-1, and he knew exactly what he was doing, and I think he did absolutely shine. And Brentford, you got, whatever you want to say about their quality, they got Henderson, who's a very experienced central midfielder who's actually having a very good season. Yarmouk has been quite a good player for Brentford over the last couple of years, but especially for me against Henderson. I know Henderson is ageing, and he's obviously not the player he was in his prime, but it's still a player who gets in the England squad, and it's still a player who's actually playing quite well week in, week out in the Premier League. So, and he's a very experienced player, so would have been quite easy to get bullied by him on that day. And I thought he actually took the game to Henderson, and I thought Henderson found it really hard to deal with him, and he was snapping at his heels. He was getting involved in the challenges, wasn't allowing Henderson to play his game. Those long passes in behind, which has served Brentford so well this season, those long passes from Henderson in behind to Thiago, he wasn't being able to find them because of how good Gray was. And he was, as you say, he wasn't just focusing on defending. When he was getting on the ball, he was brave. He was passing it forward. He was getting the ball quickly to our wingers as well, and much better than he was against Fulham. And obviously he was quite good against PSG. So and we were praising him before that PSG game. Whenever he had a cameo, he'd been playing quite well this season. So it seems as though he's really getting acclimatised to being in midfield at this level, I feel. Yeah,
to be fair to Frank on the Gray situation, he was getting those little cameos. He started the Monaco game, played 90 minutes. I think he started at left back that day. And then he got that injury, didn't he? And then he had to fight his way back in after the injury. So but now he's firmly in Thomas Frank's plans. I think we can see that, and I think he deserves it. Unbelievable performances from him.
What do you think about Mawani off the left?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought, really good energy. The thing is, what I love about Kolo Muani is his energy levels throughout the game. Like his pressing is absolutely spot on. He was taking it past men yesterday. He was providing an outlet. Should have scored in the first half, which got to be said. But I thought he was such a big reason how we were able to keep Brentford penned in to their half. Such unbelievable work rate he has. Really is.
Yeah, I feel like Look, don't get me wrong, I was impressed with him yesterday. I think he did play really well. He was more of like a facilitator,
for sure,
more than himself, like being the one going for goal or being on the end of things. It was pretty much his role was, get the long ball to him or a pass into him, hold it up, wait for Spence, wait for Xavi, play it into him, little flicks, and obviously he's got pace and his work rate, as you say. He tackle Kelleher at one point, and we should have probably scored from that moment. He was doing that time after time. He's got incredible energy about him. Do I think long term that's going to be his position? I feel like we find him there because he's probably the best option there at the moment, because no one's really nailing down that position. And I do think when it comes to in our attacking players, he's obviously one of the better ones. And if he wants to play Rishi up front, you got to fit him in probably somewhere. I don't think he's a winger based off yesterday. I think he did well and he performed well. I've got no problem with how he played, but long term, I don't know if him being off the left is going to be a position for him in our team. I think we're going to need someone a bit more maybe creative, or a bit more maybe. I think he can be direct, but he never really threatened to like cut inside and shoot, or like really threatened with goal mouth action. But I think he probably did the job he was asked, which is make sure when we're keeping the ball. I think that's something that, especially when Johnson's playing in that position, that we definitely struggle with, where kind of the ball goes out wide, it's like a black hole, and all of a sudden the ball's coming back at us. And that was something that he did very well. He just protected the ball, made sure we're sustaining attacks, and his work rate was brilliant. But yeah, I don't know if he's going to be a long-term winger. I don't know if that's going to be his position.
You could see the difference, though, can't you, with Muani on that side and Kudus on the other side? Like, Kudus just provides, like, genuine attacking threat and creative play, like, consistently throughout. And look, there was a bit of a lull period when you were talking about the first game of the season to now. You know, he started off on fire, then he went a bit quiet for a few weeks. But these last couple of performances has been Kudus back to his best, in my opinion. I mean, who started was Aya. I mean...
Yeah.
He had the beating of him all day long, didn't he? He must be going home and having nightmares about Mohamed Kudus, because I thought Kudus was absolutely phenomenal on that right-hand side.
Yeah, he was spinning in behind, he was cutting inside. I didn't know what way to go. He couldn't live with him, and he was fantastic, Kudus. And I thought the link-up play with Porro as well. I thought Porro was helping him out a lot more than he has done. I feel like Porro usually kind of passes it into him, then just hangs back a bit, and that allows Kudus to go on a dribble. But on this occasion, he was just so direct and overlapping, and it just helped Kudus find a bit more space and be able to go one-on-one with his defender and take him on. As soon as he's in a one-on-one situation, you always back him, don't you? You always think, God, he's got to beat him. Even when Rico Henry came on in the second half, he got a bit more joy out of Kudus. Still, Kudus was really had the upper hand in that duel as well, and he was absolutely brilliant. The only thing I would say about Kudus is he was playing so well, I think he got too comfortable, and he started doing these little stupid things and
nearly cost us.
Yeah, nearly cost us. He gave the ball away with a stupid flick.
See, Romero absolutely went mad.
And absolutely right. We were on the attack, and instead of like bursting forward, he does a stupid kick up. He flicks it back to Xavi unnecessarily when he could have just passed it normally.
Yeah.
Gave away a throw, and that throw nearly cost us a goal. So I think maybe he got too comfortable, maybe in how well he was playing. But by and large, he was absolutely fantastic. Understandable, he was he was probably full of confidence. He probably felt on top of the world, and maybe he just let it to him a tiny bit in that moment. But by and large,
keep it a bit more professional, Mo.
Yeah, just keep things simple and effective. I think that's what we want. But you know what? These players are mavericks, and sometimes they got to do what they feel, and he did that in that moment. And I just want, hopefully, he just doesn't start doing stupid things like that. And he did something similar as well against Newcastle. He was doing kick-ups, wasn't he? Like in his own half, and gave the ball away. So he's just got to cut that stuff out. But the guy has got such immense talent, such ability. He is so hard to stop, such strength, such pace, and technical ability as well. The world is at his feet. I feel like we haven't even seen half of what he's capable of. I really believe that. I think he's got so much ability. He just needs really unlocking. And I feel like all the stuff we see from him, like him taking people on, getting crosses in, dribbling, I think he's fantastic at that. But I really want to see him starting, do what some of the top wingers in this country can do, like Salah, like Saka can do, cutting inside and being a goal threat. And I think he's got good shooting ability, but he's got to get himself in more of those situations. I feel like he concentrates so much on dribbling, and maybe he's a bit of people accuse him of being selfish, but I feel like he can be too selfless sometimes. Maybe he's always looking to pass to his teammate. He's always looking for that crossing chance. I want to see him being a bit more selfish when it comes to getting shots off and using his ability to get into goal scoring positions rather than just creating positions, because I feel like he's got so much more to offer from that. But to be fair, I don't want to. It's not a criticism, because I like the way he's so creative. I like the way he creates for his teammates, and that's brilliant. And the fact that he's always, his first thought is, let me try and get a cross in and let me try and provide for my teammates, is fantastic. But I think to take his game to the next level, that's what he's got to add to his game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he just needs to become a bit more of a killer. That's what it comes down to. Because look, for the talent that he has, the amount of goal contributions that he gets for us, for what he got for West Ham, particularly in his last season there, is not matched up with the talent that he does have. So he just needs to become more of a killer. He needs to get his numbers up, because he's definitely got it in his locker to do so. Top talent is Mohamed Kudus. Richarlison as well, back to form. I know it's strange to say back to form, because he's been scoring quite a bit of late, but I felt the performance actually matched him scoring a goal, and he deserved that goal that he scored yesterday. I thought it was very similar to what we've been seeing from Richarlison first couple of games of the season, where all action, holding up the ball, really nice control about him. He just put in a really good number 9 performance yesterday.
Definitely, he just seems so much sharper. I wonder if it's a consequence of Mawani now being back fit and they're able to rotate a bit more. So I felt like there was a period in the season where obviously Solanke and Mawani were both unavailable for large parts. He was basically, Attell was playing sometimes, but most of the time it was just Richarlison, and he was basically playing every game, and he was getting bullied a lot. I feel like Richarlison's one of these players, unlike maybe a Kane or a Solanke where they're like 80% fit, like they can still offer physically a lot more, and they can still compete with their centre backs, and they're not necessarily going to be bullied, and they still provide a bit of quality. I feel like when Richarlison is like even at 98%, he offers he gets bullied by the centre-backs, and he gets shoved off the ball, and he's not quite there. I feel like he just needs to be at 100% to be at his very best. And I think yesterday he felt like he was back at 100%. He's holding the ball up. He's looking sharp. His hold-up play is crisper. His passing, linking up with his teammates out wide was great. And obviously getting in the position to score as well. And that's the Richarlison we know is in there. But unfortunately, it's just we see that on an inconsistent basis. Unfortunately, it's few and far between. A lot of the times, he is getting bullied by his centre backs, and it's hard to watch. He's miscontrolling passes and stuff like that. So, the Richarlison we saw yesterday is the one we want to see on a regular basis. That's for sure.
The mad thing about it is, no matter the performance levels of Richarlison, the one thing he has kept up is his goal scoring.
Absolutely,
which is absolutely mad, isn't it? Because I give Richarlison a lot of criticism sometimes for the performances that he puts in. Very frustrating, on the floor a lot. I didn't see that yesterday, by the way, consistently on the floor, which has been a big criticism of him of late. That goal-scoring run that he's on is actually quite phenomenal.
Well, in recent form, it's 4 in 6.
Yeah.
And then
even the long-term form.
For the long term, I think this stat does go back to like 2 seasons ago, because he just hasn't started that many games. But in 26 starts, it's 18 goals.
Which is mad.
Which is a great goal scoring record.
Yeah.
It's mad. It's mad. Like the way fans talk about him, you would think this guy's a Vincent Janssen goal scoring record type. And it couldn't be further from the truth. Yeah. The guy has got a good goal scoring record whenever he has got starts on the pitch. And that's just reality. And whenever I say anything positive about Richarlison, or whenever I post a positive thing about Richarlison on social media, we get so much abuse. Like, people don't even want to see him do well. It's strange. Like, there's people just got this. Maybe it's just some fans. Maybe it's just a loud minority. But there's some fans who've got this idea in him. Like, he's rubbish. I've made my conclusion. He's absolute garbage, and I don't want to hear anyone say anything positive about him ever. And like, even when he does score, and I go, look, he's scoring. He's in good form. People go like, he's rubbish. Him. Stop talking about him. Like, we just want to sell him. We want to get rid. Like, fine. It's fine to have your opinion that like, he needs upgrading and he's not good enough for us. That's absolutely fine. But just the vitriol people attack him with sometimes, even when he's playing well and he's scoring, like, just because you've made up your mind about him, just blows my mind sometimes. There's some weird thing on social media about Richarlison where people just love to be negative about him. Maybe it comes from the fact that because he's a figure of fun. He takes his shirt off, and he's part of that whole Spursy kind of narrative where we get clowned upon, and he's a big part of that. And maybe he spends a lot of time on the floor, and he's known as a flop that we spent big money on, and he kind of plays into the narrative of Tottenham being clowned upon a lot because of his whole taking off a shirt thing. So maybe because of that, he gets a lot of ire from the fans. But look, I just feel like this fan base struggle to give him credit when it's due. That's my point. And I feel like right now he's playing. I think this season he's, goal scoring wise, he's been all right. And I think we just need some fans need to get off his back and just stop calling him garbage all the time when he keeps scoring. Yeah,
I think there could be a bit of comparisons drawn there between him and Brennan Johnson. I think Brennan Johnson to a more heightened extent, because Brennan Johnson, I think, he does less on a football pitch than Richarlison does more often than not. But what Brennan Johnson did do was put the ball in the back of the net, 18 times last season, and he still gets criticised a lot, which is fair enough because the performances aren't matching up to maybe the goal contributions that he has been given. And I think maybe Richarlison, you could be said with the goals that he's scoring, maybe it's a bit of a similar case, but I don't think it's exactly the same, because I do think we have seen more from Richarlison than we have with Brennan Johnson with actually impacting games. So I think there could be a bit of a comparison drawn there a little bit.
And he scores like a wide range of goals. He's got 40-yard lobs, bicycle kicks, headers from the inside the box.
40-yard
lob. Still, he scores like a wide variety of finishes as well. Look, I've always said I just think he's a good player. I'm not saying he's a world beater, but I think people underestimate him, in my opinion. I think he's a good striker, and his goal scoring record has proven that. But yeah, we need him to be at his peak fitness more often, and I think that's obviously that's been a big issue for him, staying fit and being at peak fitness.
He needs to have performances like yesterday, like Burnley, like Man City, like PSG in the Super Cup. He needs to have performances like that more often, and unfortunately, those performances have been too few and far between this season. That's just the reality, The performances in between today and the Man City game have not been great. I think we can all recognise that and we can all accept that, but the goal scoring run has kind of continued, which is a great thing. So he just needs to perform like we know he can perform, and if he has more performances like that as opposed to the performances that we have been accustomed to seeing, then I don't think many Spurs fans will have too much of a problem with him.
Would you not also agree that his better performance has not coincided with the team being more functional?
Yeah, you could say that.
So I think, is that not, could that not maybe
all his best performances have been Spurs' best performances? Yeah.
So is it not necessarily? It's not necessarily like he's playing badly because he's bad. Is it not maybe he's playing badly because the team just isn't as functional a lot of the time?
Yeah, maybe there's a bit of both in there, because there are some moments in the game where he hasn't been performing well that just frustrates fans, and I don't think that's to do with team functionality. I think it's mainly to do with his personal performance, because look at the hold-up play. There's just nothing there in the last couple of games before that. Constantly on the floor, ball just bouncing off him. Stuff like that where we know he can do better at, and it just leaves you more frustrated.
Yeah, I understand that, but I think again yesterday there's players a lot closer to him.
True.
Against PSG, same thing. Against PSG when in the Super Cup, it was the same thing. We had two up front, and I feel like a lot of the time this season he's been so isolated, not a player within 20 yards of him, and he's asked to basically hold the ball up against two strong centre backs until someone gets near him, and it's been a fool's errand a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah, you might be right. But we have to wait and see how the season progresses, and can he do it over a long stretch of time, because we have never seen that with Richarlison.
Yeah, he just hasn't been able to stay fit.
Yeah.
I think by and large.
So massive step in the right direction. Really good performance from Richarlison yesterday. Is he the long-term answer to our number 9? I don't know. But
no, probably not. But still, doesn't mean we have to absolutely just kill him every time he plays a game for us.
Yeah.
I just don't get the such high negativity I see about him.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But on Thomas Frank, you go on about you want to see the performances. You saw that yesterday.
Absolutely.
Did you think Frank was capable of putting a performance like that?
I think he's capable of it. There's no reason why not. He just hasn't set up a team so far to do it. There's no reason why he shouldn't be capable of a performance like that. It's just about doing. It's about, first of all, doing it on a regular basis, doing it in different kind of opposition, and being brave. And I think hopefully the penny has dropped. There's a lot more encouraging performance to this than most other performances that we've seen this season, 100%. I was really happy with what I saw yesterday, and I think the pressing was intent. Look, I think the setup was great. I think he got a number 10 in there, in Javi. Everything I've been asking for, basically, he did yesterday. He got the fullbacks flying a lot further forward. He was braver. He was less pragmatic. And that's kind of what we've needed from him. And that's kind of gives everyone belief, or when we see things like that, gives everyone belief that, lets everyone dream about what's possible. But it's about doing it more regularly, doing it against I'm not even going to say about doing it against better opposition, because look, Brentford are decent, they're a mid-table team. Those are the kind of teams you're going to be playing against, so that's fine. But we want to see it against that level of opposition more often, put it that way. And that was
Are you more hopeful now? Are you more hopeful after that performance?
I'm more hopeful than I was in recent weeks, yeah, for sure. I wouldn't say, look, I've always said we shouldn't sack him, and I don't think we're going to be seeing the best of Tottenham until the second half of the season. And let's hope that's true. I think the reason I'm being heavily critical is because I do think he's been making lots of mistakes in terms of how we've been setting up and how he's been asking this team to play. Hopefully that starts to change.
It's got to change after yesterday.
There's a bit of evidence of it changing. I think maybe that PSG was a bit of a penny drop moment, hopefully. And obviously we did lose to Fulham the next game, but again, he did start Bergvall and Gray. Then obviously we did get a draw against Newcastle, and then we obviously won this game. So hopefully that PSG game has been a bit of a moment for him to take stock, and things seem to be hopefully improving since then.
Yeah, we've been asking for so many weeks now. We just want to see stuff that we can go on, we can take away from the game, look at it at a more positive light, and see something that's manifesting for the future, or going into the second half of the season. And I think we're starting to see that now, and that's brilliant in my opinion. So 2-0 win against Brentford, top performance all round. It was a top day all round. Arsenal losing, Chelsea dropping points, Man City making up a bit of the gap on Arsenal as well, and Spurs putting in the performance that they did. I said on the fan show yesterday, the only downside of the game yesterday was that we didn't score more than we did, because we could have got 5 or 6 yesterday with the performance that we put in.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we created enough chances to do so, and that'll be the big disappointment. But we deserved the win, and we were brilliant pretty much from start to finish. Also, goes under radar, we managed the game quite well, because in the first half we were a lot more in possession, intense, pressing high. Second half we did kind of cool it off a bit, but we managed it very well, just playing on the counter attack, springing on them, waiting for them to make a mistake. And I actually think the way Frank managed that game was quite impressive.
Yeah, I agree. And he brought on Paulinho, didn't he, in the second half? And I thought Paulinho was spot on when he came on, to be honest.
He was just running everywhere, wasn't he? Just kicking everyone. It was brilliant. But he was great. He was really good.
Yeah. So, like I said, brilliant day all round. Spurs take the 3 points. Move up to where in the league?
9th at the moment.
Move up to the...
But if Brighton win, maybe do they go above us? Although are they above us at the moment?
They're above us at the moment. With a draw takes us...
So we're 10th.
If they lose, they're on the same points as us.
So we're 10th.
We're 10th now, yeah.
And if United win, then they go above us. So we're 11th.
But look, only 3 points outside the top 4, so it's still
crazy,
very tight. I mean,
the league is so competitive this year. As you say, Everton are currently 5th.
Yeah.
So they were literally below us like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And now
Everton 5th, Bournemouth 13th. Like, it's just madness. The
swings.
The swings.
Literally, we go
and
win 3 games in a row. We're in the top 3 race.
Yeah.
That's how mad it is.
Yeah.
And then you lose 3, and all of a sudden, are we getting relegated?
It's just mad, isn't it?
That's how mad this is. I don't think it's ever been this tight at this stage. I think usually is quite tight up until 10 games in. Then you should start to see gaps form. But at the moment, there just seems no letting up with the league. I doubt it will be look, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it's going to be like this all the way till the end of the season. I'm sure gaps will start to form at some point. But right now, you just got to take advantage of the league table while it is.
It's mad because there's 6 points from Brentford in 14th to Chelsea in 4th.
Yeah.
That's just crazy, isn't it?
So 2 wins and Chelsea could be level with 14th, and they were in a title race a few days ago.
It's madness. All it takes is Arsenal to fall off a little bit, and then it'll be like 1st to 14th. We're all just going to be so tight. And then anyone can win the league.
Yeah, Glitch says every team just has a big inconsistency. I just feel like, I don't know if it's look, they are inconsistent, but I just feel like it's just so competitive. Every team has so much money. Every team now has great recruitment, or has analytics and data, and all these teams behind them, and they have all these like armies, basically coaching staff armies, all this kind of stuff. They analyze everything, and I think getting those marginal gains is not as simple as it used to be, where people used to be ahead of the game. Now I think it's so hard to be ahead of the game now, because everyone is ahead of the game. Everyone has the money. So you can't, like, everyone has good players now.
So is it actually ahead of the game if everyone's ahead of the game?
That's what I'm saying. You can't really get ahead of the game. There's no being ahead of the game. Being ahead of the game now is just staying afloat. You know what I mean? It's just like you're doing what everyone else is doing, even if you're just like being very data-led and all this kind of stuff that we've been trying to do recently. We're just basically, good goal. We're just basically catching up. Like they're, I guess the teams who I really feel maybe are ahead of the game are teams like Brighton, Brentford and Bournemouth, who, you know, with their size of their clubs, have been punching well above their weight. Maybe Palace as well. But when it comes to teams like us, we think we can just spend our way out of it. It's not that simple sometimes.
Do you have confidence that Spurs can go on a bit of a run now?
Yeah, sure. I mean, do I have confidence Spurs can go on a bit of a run? If we play like that more often, then I think we'll win more games than we don't. That's what I'm confident of. And if we stop, we get that.
Do you think we will though, or do you think it could revert back?
I think there were definitely a few things in our favour yesterday. I think first Brentford don't have a good away record. Frank knows them inside out, so that definitely helped. I also think the 2 moments we did score were.
But also on the flip side, they know Frank inside out.
I know, but I think it helps more that we know them than they know Frank, because Frank could always change. Like, he knows all the players. You know what I mean? They don't know our players as well as Frank knows theirs. I think that's a big advantage. But look, it was great, but it's one game against a Brentford team with only 1-1 away. So as much as I'm delighted, and it's not to say that I'm not judging the performance on its merits, I am, but I don't know if I can sit here and say we're definitely going to go on a run. I don't know. I'm more hopeful than I was. If it was like a stodgy 1-0, you know, we scored from a corner, I would be sitting here saying, yeah, it doesn't mean anything. I do think it means something that we played, how well we played yesterday. I don't think it was just a one-off. I'm hoping anyway. Like, I think we played really well, deserved the win. We showed we can be dominant. But let's do it in more than one game.
You on the train?
I'm on the train.
Thomas Frank's cooking?
He cooked yesterday.
He's cooking yesterday.
He cooked yesterday.
I jumped off the train for a little bit, but I'm fully back on the train. Choo. Thomas Frank is cooking.
One win against Brentford, and that's all it takes.
That's all it takes. It's not the win. It's not the win that did it for me. It's the performance and how we actually came across the win and how good the players looked yesterday, and the system and the game manager. Everything was just perfect yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's what did it for me, to be honest. And as well as, you know me, we had that conversation after Newcastle, and I felt positive after that game, even if it wasn't the greatest performance. But it's just like how we ground it out and stuck in there and kept going and got that, you know, great point at St James's Park. And now we've taken it further than that and had a really good performances and won the game. Yeah,
I think that's a crucial thing. The players, you know, seem a bit, I don't know, there were question marks about them, whether they're buying into Frank and all this kind of stuff. And they definitely seem a bit more buying into him in the last couple of games, that's for sure.
Yeah. They said they had that big chat, was it, after the Arsenal game? And
I think Chelsea
was
said.
it Chelsea? Or, I think was it not Arsenal as well? I think that maybe they had 2 chats.
There are probably lots of chats this season.
But yeah, like since Arsenal, I think it has got better. You got to say that. So
yeah, I mean, but that's like
it's better than like dog shit. Yeah,
but like not just dog shit. It's like our worst in our history. Like Premier League history. So there's really only one way up from there. But as I said,
it can carry on and it can fester.
No, you're right,
and it's got better.
You're right, and as I say, if I'm not totally results based in how I think about how we're playing. And again, I said, you know, if we would have won yesterday, but it was just so, you know, we were lucky and we scored from our own goal and we won 1-0. I wouldn't be so encouraged. But yesterday definitely got us right back on the right track.
Absolutely. All right, so that is our match review. Spurs 2, Brentford 0. And we've got a couple of super chats to get into before we get into our player ratings. And first up is Rambro Vids says, great performance by the boys. This must have been yesterday.
Yeah.
Big up to Rambro, though.
Today's the first one is Faz.
Faz 40 Spurs says, Sim, nothing negative, but Richie is poor. Fact.
Oh, look, that in terms of how criticisms go, like, that's pretty tame. I don't look, you can have that opinion. I don't mind that. It's just I feel I post things about Richie sometimes about his goal score record, and people just go, he's shit, stop saying anything. Don't post anything positive, he's rubbish. I'm like, okay, just calm down.
Yeah, you're just rage baiting when you do it.
Huh?
You're rage baiting.
What am I rage baiting? I'm saying, look at his goal score
because you know
records.
the reaction.
Why should that be the reaction, though?
But you know it's going to be the reaction.
Not necessarily. Shouldn't be. Why should I know that? Why should I know they're going to hate on a player with a good goal scoring record?
Because that's what's been happening.
Well, no, it's only happened because I posted it. That's how I've seen it happen.
Ooh.
Yeah,
West Ham are 1-0 up here at the Amex with just over 10 minutes to go. Ninchow 7724, big up. Says Javi and Kudus will bring the best out of each other.
I agree with that as well. Getting them close to each other, getting them doing little 1-2s with each other. We need to see that more as well. We need to. I think those two are our most creative and technical players. So I think we have to see them really linking up more.
And Mr. Brian Daigle, member for 61 months. Big up to Brian. He was in 0.01 top viewers on We Are Tottenham TV in the year of 2025. Big up to Brian. He's put in a members chat saying, afternoon, brothers. What a great performance yesterday. Great time in the studio with Simeon and Ben. I really enjoyed that one. Come on, you Spurs. Big up to Brian. All right, let's get into our player ratings, starting off with Vicario. Sib gives him a 7. I gave him a 6. It was a really quiet afternoon for Vicario. I remember Thiago goes through on goal in the first half, and he made a good save there. But, I mean, that's pretty much the only thing he had to do for the whole game. I mean, really quiet day.
Yep. I think he'll be glad that he didn't have too much to do in this game. The ball, for large parts, barely entered our half. They were struggling to kind of get any pass moves together. I think Vicario just had to do simple things. Even the save he did have to make, decent save, but it's a save you expect him to make. And other than that, Brentford, whenever they had shooting opportunities, their finishing was off. So good day for Vicario.
Yeah. Pedro Porro up next, back in form. 8s all round for Pedro. Potentially is even his best performance of the season. I thought he was creative. Lovely kind of pre-assist for the Richarlison goal. Great ball to Javi Simmons. Pressing high up the pitch. So aggressive. Winning his duels. Winning countless amount of tackles. Those are the kind of performances we need to see on a regular basis for Pedro Porro, because I feel like his passing and his creativity and even his aggression has been pretty low over the last couple of weeks. And yesterday it was all there and all spot on and there for everyone to see.
Absolutely, and the way he supported Kudus in the attack was something that we just haven't seen enough of this season. The way he was overlapping, using his quality as well. The pass for the first goal was out of this world. Xavi has run from nearly inside his own half all the way into the penalty area, and he actually doesn't have to take a touch to lay it across the face for a shot. And that's how good Porro's pass is, right on a plate for him. And that's a very kind of Brentford-like goal as well, getting that early ball in behind for runners running off their markers.
And we Brentford.
We did. I think that's the kind of goal Frank coached a lot last season. So hopefully we start to see that a lot more. And we haven't. I was saying as well before, how often do we see our players passing in behind with quality? We just haven't seen it anywhere near enough. And obviously happiness with the first goal, and we got the goal. Brilliant from Porro. And I think throughout the day, Sade was completely marked out the game. I thought he was really strong into him. We didn't see anything of Sade.
You could see Sade towards the end of the game in the last half an hour really taking out his frustrations, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And I think he had quality as well, Porro. When he got on the final third, his Keller struggled to deal with his crossing. He whipped them a lot. Brilliant stuff. And he was unlucky maybe not to have got maybe another assist. Or he didn't get any assist, but a assist on the game. Put it that way.
Cuti Romero, 7 from Sim, 8 from me. I thought he was fantastic. Anytime the ball came anywhere close to him, he was there to step up, win the ball, proactive defending. I felt like there were actually a couple of moments in the first half where he looked a bit just over the top. You know, that Kuti that just like toes that goes about a bit above that line. That tackle where he got the yellow card.
Yeah, he could have been sent off.
That was a pretty horrific challenge. Both feet off the ground and a kind of scissor kick, wasn't it?
I thought it was lucky, to be honest. I watched it back, and I think if the VAR could have easily reviewed that, easily. So that's the only reason I marked him down, because he risked literally us going down to 10 minutes for no reason.
It was really funny because in the stands at that moment when the ref, because I thought the ref was pissing me off all day. Like there was countless amounts from what I saw of they gave a goal kick where it should have been a corner.
Yes, that happened a few times in the first half.
Yeah, it happened a lot of times during the game yesterday, and the ref was just pissing me off and pissing everyone off around me. And when that challenge went in, everyone around me saying, "What are you doing? That's never a foul. He got the ball." And I'm looking at it, be like, guys, he's lucky to stay on the pitch. Never mind, give away a foul. Like, come on. But look, I thought apart from that, I thought as the game wore on, he got more influential and helped the team a lot. I thought he was brilliant.
And that moment we spoke about before where Kudus did that stupid trick, he got bailed out by Romero because Thiago actually spun Van der Ven, was in on goal. And if it wasn't for Romero just putting a foot in very late as Thiago was about to pull the trigger, that would have been a goal scoring chance. So that was really good for Romero. And I think he did definitely got better as the game wore on. I thought first half, if anyone was a bit shaky for any reason, it was probably him. But I don't think he wasn't playing badly. He was just doing some stupid things. But I thought by and large he had a very strong performance again.
Yeah, and showed his captain's ability as well when Kudus was kind of making a mockery of the game a little bit. He was there to put him straight.
But he's now 3 yellows away from a 2-game suspension.
Yeah, 17 games he's got.
No chance he survives, surely. But it's weird, you know, he's going through quite a good patch where he wasn't getting booked as much, and now he's got 7 yellows already this season.
Yeah. Since Thomas Frank's come in, he's told him to be more aggressive.
Yeah, be yourself, be yourself.
Let's go to Mickey van der Ven. 8's all round for Mickey. This guy is a Rolls Royce of a defender, man. Just, is there any better sights than a defender looking like he's going to go through one-on-one and Mickey van der Ven?
Oh.
Like, you just know at that moment, even if he hasn't caught up with him yet, you just know you're all right with Mickey van der Ven there. And I think that happened at least once in the game yesterday. He makes these like spot-on challenges in the box where, you know, if you get it wrong, you're in big trouble. But Mickey van der Ven just gets it spot on more times than not, and I think his defending is getting better and better. There were a couple of times he was marauding down that left-hand side as well. Fantastic display.
Yeah, and I love his confidence when he's being when he's got the ball and someone tries to press him and he's like, you try if you like, and he just bursts past him. I thought yesterday as well, his passing was a lot better. He's passing forward a lot more with a lot more confidence, and I'm definitely noticing that. You know, it wasn't just Romero being tasked with passing in between the lines. I think Van der Ven took a lot of that responsibility, so that's really good. And as you said, there was definitely one occasion, I think it was in the first half, where it looked like Thiago was in on goal and it looked like, okay, we're in trouble. And then as he does, Van der Ven just comes out of nowhere, picks his pocket, and all of a sudden we're back on the attack again. So thought he was really, really great. Didn't really put a foot wrong.
Jed Spence at left back. Sim gives him a 9. I gave him an 8. We said it was Porro's best performance of the season. I think it was Jed Spence's best performance of the season yesterday as well. Relentless down that left-hand side, taking high positions, winning the ball back, pressing, getting to the byline. My only criticism of Jed Spence is I thought, look, he did create a couple of chances as well, but with the amount of times and he had the ball in great positions, I thought he was a bit wasteful. But nonetheless, I thought it was a top performance.
Yeah, he did set up that chance for Sarr near the end with a brilliant cutback.
Yeah.
He obviously created his own chance when he tackled, I think it was Nathan Collins, went through one-on-one. It was difficult because it was on his left foot, so a difficult chance, but, you know, I think most players would want to score in that position. I just thought, especially in that second half, he was so relentless. He did everything I've been asking him to do, which is get higher up the pitch, go to the byline, take people on. I felt like yesterday, there was like a switch in his mindset. I feel like he's been so hesitant to go for the space and really take people on this season, especially when he's playing a left back. But yesterday was like, there was like a flip in his mind, right? You know what? Every time I'm getting the ball, I'm going to take someone on. I'm going to go down the line. And I thought he was exceptional. And he was still like running at full pelt in the 90th minute. I was like, this guy can run for 90 minutes. He was just non-stop. His fitness is maddening. And I thought yesterday he was absolutely exceptional. His best performance this season, his best performance at left back, maybe his best performance at all with the Tottenham shirt. I thought he was that good, to be honest. And if he's going to play like that, more regularly, then we're not going to miss a doggy who's unfortunately injured at the moment, because that was probably the best left back performance we've seen this season.
What's going on with the doggy?
Injured.
I mean, yeah, but like he did an interview literally a few days ago being like, yeah, I'm back fit now. I feel the best I've ever been.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff. And now he's injured again. Is there any kind of... Do we know anything about it? Like how long it's going to be?
Frank said it's a soft tissue injury, get a goal against Newcastle, and hopefully, well, he didn't say hopefully, he was asked, will he be out for long? He said not too long, whatever that means.
God.
So Solanke was supposed to be not too long as well.
Exactly, so we'll see a doggy again at the back end of the season.
Exactly.
Let's move into the midfield. Rodrigo Bentancur, Sim gives him an 8, I gave him a 7. These are the performances that we want to see from Rodrigo Bentancur, controlling things in the middle of the park, cool, calm, measured, press resistant, driving the team forward. And I thought, from a defensive capability as well, did his job unbelievably well. Such a top performance from Lolo. And we need to see this more often, because we've actually seen really good performances from him this season. But every time there's a good performance from Bentancur, there's a poor one that follows. So we need to see consistency from him.
And I think Mike Warminty in the comments really hits the nail on the head with what I'm going to say about Bentancur, and that's anticipation. That's his biggest strength. I feel like when he's reading where a pass is going to go and he just steals in and gets us on the attack, that's like a really strong part of his game. And that's something that, even in his worst games, he still has a few moments where he uses his brain really well in those elements. I think where he really struggles is where he's being taken on, or physically sometimes he can get overrun. And I think that's where we've been really frustrated. But his anticipation is top notch. I think yesterday was a number of times he just read where a pass was going to go, intercepted it and got us on the front foot and got us in a good position.
And we saw that against Newcastle, didn't we?
Newcastle as well. Even when I thought he had a poor game, his anticipation is still there. His passing as well was a lot better, I felt, in this game. There was one moment, I know it didn't lead to a chance, but he's running for on goal, and he just plays a brilliant through ball from his own half, in behind him. He was inches away from being one-on-one. Keller, unlucky for him, just kind of got in front of him. But I thought Bentancur was so much more confident, was really good next to Gray. Was only on for 65 minutes, but I thought was a really strong showing.
Let's move on to Archie Gray. Sim gives him a 7 this time. I gave him an 8. I was so impressed with Archie Gray, 19-year-old in the middle of the park, holding his own. Not only holding his own, but was put in such a fantastic performance. And, he's really starting to come to the fore now for Tottenham Hotspur. I thought he pocketed Mikkel Damsgaard, and Damsgaard, he provided 11 assists in the Premier League last season, showed what a top quality Premier League attacking midfielder he can be, and he got hooked at 60 minutes, and I think a big reason for that was the performance of Archie Gray. So solid in the defence. He makes these kind of sliding challenges quite often in the midfield, and they all seem to be absolutely spot on. Alongside Bentancur as well, they work so well in tandem with each other, and when one sat, one went and pressed forward, and when Archie Gray was pressing forward, I thought he was showing such good quality. I've loved what I've seen from Archie Gray this season, and I've said it on a number of occasions, but this one tops the lot, I think.
Yeah, he definitely just seems to be growing and growing with every performance, and this one probably the best one. Yeah, I thought it was a top performance from him. I thought when you're up against an experienced player like Jordan Henderson, it can be very difficult for a young midfielder to get the better of him, but I thought he absolutely did, and he added energy. He was snapping at his heels, wasn't able to dictate the game, but I thought he was confident on the ball as well, wriggling out difficult situations, really facilitating the attacking players as well. So I think he'll be really proud of his performance, Archie Gray. I think he's starting to be really consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go on to Javi Simmons. 9s all round for Javi. He was my man in the match, and just straight from the kickoff, you could just see the intent from Javi Simmons. He was getting the ball, picking up those pockets. I also thought he had freedom to actually take shots from outside the box. He did that a couple of times. I thought there was more of a willingness to take shots from outside the box from Tottenham yesterday, which we haven't seen for large parts of the season. But he was just so creative, and I thought, first half, he ends of half with a goal and assist, both at such high quality. Picks up that space on the right-hand side off that ball from Porro, puts it on the money for Richarlison, and the goal, man. The goal. Just as you think he loses the ball, he shows that aggression, shows that bite to win the ball back, and he kept running and running and running and stops the ball in the far corner. No stopping that. So, he must have been so delighted going in at half-time. Confidence was there. And in the second half, I know we didn't get a goal and he didn't get a goal contribution or anything, but everything good Spurs were doing, I felt was all going through him. So, no surprise, get a proper creator, get a number 10 in there, and you start creating chances. And he was at the heart of things. And I thought it's been criminal for him not to start any of the last 4 games. And I think he's proved Thomas Frank wrong in this game, and he's put in a top performance.
Yeah, and it was a breath of fresh air seeing him on the pitch and seeing him performing that way. It was so encouraging. He needed that performance for his confidence and just for the team. We need him. With no Kulusevski and Maddison available for the foreseeable future, we need him in the team. He needs to be the hub of the team, and he showed he can carry that burden on his shoulders yesterday. I thought he was exceptional. The spinner away from Vandenberg for the first goal as well, the composure it looks easy, but to just put it on a plate for Rishi was fantastic, and that was a really good piece of play. And the turn of pace he showed was absolutely brilliant as well, to get away from the Vandenberg. And then what I loved about that second goal was he made a mistake, but he didn't let that affect him. He just got straight back up, won the ball, and just ran half the pitch, and ended up just going all the way. And he saw that gap, he just went for it. He didn't have any second thoughts. Just went for the gap and slotted it home. So confident. What I loved as well was he wasn't afraid to put a sliding challenge in, was he? So I liked it, but also he does have to be careful because he gets one of those wrong, and all of a sudden he can find himself off the pitch. But he definitely has no lack of endeavour, does he? When you compare him to, like, if you remember how Eriksen used to play, like, obviously Eriksen's brilliant. I'm not saying he's better than Eriksen, but Eriksen always used to do the running, but he would never really just go for a challenge. When would you ever remember Eriksen going for a sliding challenge in his whole Tottenham career? Yeah, Xavi has that little bit of bite about him. He's not scared to put in a challenge like that. And I thought he, a couple of times yesterday, just throwing himself into challenges, really trying to show his work ethic and his aggression, which was really, really great. But I think by and large, it was just his quality which really shone, and I thought he was playing it quicker, wasn't getting bullied. He was spinning players yesterday for fun, and look, let's hope it's the start of things to come for him. And playing in a kind of false 9 a bit position as well. I felt like he was kind of very central, but off the ball he was going in a 4-4-2, so he was quite far up the pitch a lot of the time. And I think that link-up play of him with other players really helped.
Absolutely. Mohamed Kudus up next. 8s all round for Kudus, and I feel like his form is really starting to improve now. Last couple of games he's got a goal, he's got an assist. He didn't get any goal contributions in this game, but what he did do, he was a constant threat down that right-hand side. First half took Aya to the cleaners. Second half they had to change because he was getting rinsed too much. They changed to Rico Henry, who still struggled, maybe not as much as Aya, but still struggled. And I feel like he just had the constant beating, taking it past men at will, creating chances at will. The guy was a constant threat. And what I liked most about this game is not how good Kudus was, but how we just didn't look for Kudus every single time. We had so much variation in our play, and I think it helped him as well, where the burden wasn't solely on Kudus to create chances, and it helped him. I really feel like it helped him. So massive performance from Kudus, and he keeps going in the right direction.
Yeah, and the performances are like this is why Spurs fans immediately took to him as soon as he signed with some of those early games, and unfortunately we haven't seen them as much. Frank was kind of implying that this is because he had that injury, which he had, I think, just before United, didn't he? He had an injury which kept him out for a game or two, but hopefully he's over that now. From the evidence yesterday, he was like a lot sharper than he has done. He was beating Aya for fun. I think the fact that Porro was getting a lot further forward and helping him, that helped him get a lot more space. And the fact that we had Xavi there, we had Moani and Richarlison closer to him, that left a lot more space and a lot more things for Brentford to think about. So that was really great as well. And he was just so exciting. He did take a shot in the second half, but I want to see a bit more from that. But he's so creative, so hard to deal with. Whether he gets a corner or creates a chance, it always one of those two things happen usually. Very rarely when he's in that kind of mood he ever gets tackled. And I thought it was a really top performance again.
And he did have the ball in the back of the net at one stage. He went over to his
good finish.
Yeah, really good finish. He went over to his stall. Thought he'd scored. I haven't seen that back, but when the replay flashed up quickly at the stadium, It didn't really look offside to me.
No, it was offside.
It was, yeah?
Quite far.
Oh, far offside, yeah. All right, fair enough. But he definitely thought he'd scored. But yeah, look, good display by him. Let's move on and talk about Randall Kolo Muani. Started out on the left wing. Sim gives him a 7. I gave him an 8. I thought energy and work rate from him is just phenomenal. Consistently pressing down that side, winning the ball back. I think he frightens the life out of defenders when he's running at them because it's the sheer physicality. I mean, I just love his work rate. I really have, and I've loved it since he's joined, and I think he's getting better and better in a Spurs shirt. I want to see more in terms of getting in goal-scoring positions and, contributing a bit more to goals and assists, which we haven't seen in the Premier League as of yet. But I think it will come. If he keeps playing in the manner that he's playing and keeps working as hard as he's playing, I have no doubt it will come. But like I said before in the match review, I just thought he did such an unbelievable job for the team, and a big reason why we were able to keep the ball, just keep Brentford penned in potentially the whole game.
Yeah, he's got a really good way of just keeping the ball, but also always going forward, not just going backwards all the time. He's got really good physicality about him. I really liked how he was linking up with Spence and how he was linking up the rest of the team with his little flicks. And when he does kind of get square up with a defender, he's not afraid to take him on. And he did. There was a really nice moment on the byline where he looked like a couple of times he had to fight to keep it in, but he got to the byline and won a few corners, and that was really, really positive as well. He was always kind of he was never really a goal threat apart from the moment from a corner. Obviously he had that headed chance, really should have scored, but didn't have too many opportunities to be a goal threat from open play. But I thought it was really good. He played more of a facilitator, I felt like, in this game. Whether the left wing position, he showed he can do a job there. Now, whether that's his long-term position or something that it's going to be his position for us, I don't know, but
he showed he can be an option there.
He showed he can definitely be an option there. He can definitely play there, and that was really good.
And then Richarlison, 8s all round for Rishi, got his goal, top goal scorer for Spurs this season. 8s all round for him. He's been, he was fantastic yesterday. Definitely very different to what we've seen in recent weeks. He wasn't, consistently on the floor. He didn't show that kind of frustrating side to him. I just thought he put in a fantastic performance. He was putting himself about. He was aggressive. He was making it stick. What blew me away from Richarlison is when he plucked that ball out of the air and just took it down with his right foot, and I was just like, wow, this guy is on form today. But yeah, he was a constant threat. He was consistently asking questions of the defence, and his hold-up play was better than we've seen since the first 3 games of the season.
Yeah, he was looking sharper. He was looking really great actually yesterday with Richarlison. His pressing, he was a lot more aggressive. He just looked like he was competing with the centre backs a lot better than he has been in recent weeks. And obviously he got in the position to get his goal, and it was as much as a tap in, the ball is getting fired to him, so he just has to make sure he controls it, make sure he just puts it in the empty net. Obviously, he would have got absolute pelters if he missed it, but got the goal, and he's in good form. 4 goals in 6 games, 7 goals in the whole season as well, so he's our top goal scorer. And look, long may it continue. I think he had a much better showing as well, performance-wise. I think having players closer to him really helped him. When he did hold the ball up, he had someone to give it to, rather than just basically holding up the ball to no one. And I was really, really encouraged by another good showing from Rishi.
In terms of the substitutes, Paulinho came on midway through the second half. 7s all round for João. I think he came on and did exactly what it says on the tin, to be honest, with João Paulinho. He came on, put himself about, was like a raging bull in the centre of the park, just going after challenge after challenge after challenge. And just helped us so there was no kind of situation where Brentford could see a way back in the game.
Yeah, I think shin kicker in chief he was when he came on. I think he was just absolutely everywhere, wasn't he? And I think the good thing he did, I think we were having a lot of possession before he came on, and obviously we were pressing intensely. I think when he came on, we did back off a little bit, and I'm not saying we gave Brentford any encouragement. They had a bit of possession and they were starting to build some kind of passing moves. And what he did really well was just make sure he was just breaking up every single time. Make sure any time they looked like they were getting a move together, there's Paulini just popping up, getting a tackle, ping out for a throw, giving away a free kick, just something to constantly break it up. And maybe I'm thinking, Paulinho, I think obviously certain games he will need him to start as well, but this kind of role, especially where in game states where we're winning, could be really positive for him, I think.
Absolutely.
He brings so much energy and so much physicality. Like, imagine when you've got a lead and you've got Paulini then coming on, you're going to have to somehow get past him. It's a daunting task.
Yeah, and I think it's important to have a profile like his in the squad. It's just something that we've been missing for so long. Just someone that is just hard as nails, that can just put in consistent challenges and win the ball back and be hard to play against.
But I agree, but that as much as we talk about Simmons being left out, he's been left out now 3 of the last 4 games.
Yeah.
So what do we think that's due to? Is Frank realising we don't need him necessarily in some games now, whereas before he seemed to be absolutely essential?
Well, I think there's a big difference in terms of what the team needs between Paulinho and Javi. Obviously, we don't have another 10, and that's why it was a disgrace that Javi wasn't playing, because we don't have one. We do have other players that can come in midfield and play very well and show better ball progression on the ball. So with João Paulinho, he'll get his moments, and I think there's definitely games that call for him and call for the skill set that he does have. But even if he doesn't start, like you mentioned, he can still play a big part in games.
My point being, for most of the season, it's fair to say he's been seen as essential. And is he not being seen as that now, do you think?
No, he's not to start from games. You can see it clearly, and I think that's the right way to go about things. I think, like I said, in certain games he will be starting, but in games like this, particularly, there's no need to start João Paulinho. You go, you take the game to them, and then once you're 2-3-0 up, then you bring him on to see out the game with. I think that's the perfect way to do it.
Is he in our best 11 at the moment? Question.
Depends who you're playing against, who the best 11 is. That's the reality. But if we're playing a mid-table team at home, then no, he shouldn't be in our best 11.
I agree with that.
Let's move on to Wilson Odobert. 6s all round for Wilson. Yeah, look, he showed a lot of energy and a lot of running at times. There was this one moment where it looked like he could have crossed the ball or even taken a shot, but he just hesitated a bit too much, and the chance passed him by, which was a bit frustrating. There was another moment where I think he could have scored as well. But, yeah, it was a bit of huff and puff from Wilson Odobert.
Yeah, it came on, looked a bit of a threat. Could have maybe done a bit more, but if Spence plays that pass earlier, he would have been onside. Maybe he could have done better, but he also did miscontrol the chance, and obviously Kelleher did save it, scrambled to his feet. I thought he looked bright, but yeah, it didn't really do much.
And then last but not least, Thomas Frank. Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 9. I thought he managed this game to perfection yesterday. Did what every Spurs fan wants to see, and that is play on the front foot, be a consistent threat throughout the game, control the game for 90 minutes, and completely obliterate a team that comes to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We haven't seen that since the Burnley game, but this was a far cry from the Burnley game. Even the Burnley game, I know we won 3-0, but we weren't consistently on the front foot and consistently attacking, and wave after wave of Tottenham attack. This is what Spurs fans want to see. This is when you imagine Spurs playing at home against the kind of mid-table team, this is what you kind of envisage in your head, a game like what it was yesterday. So you thought you were watching a proper Tottenham team yesterday. So I give Thomas Frank massive credit for that. The starting lineup, the dynamics of the team, the changes he made throughout the game, I thought everything was absolutely spot on from Thomas Frank yesterday. So I'll give him a lot of credit.
Yeah, I think he deserves a lot of credit. I think the way he got us playing finally yesterday with intensity, aggression, the pressing, but also having all the attacking players in the front line that we needed to open up the opposition, and also not relying on a solid base of Bentancur, Paulinho was great. I think the focus on getting the fullbacks a lot higher up and supporting the wingers and opening up more space for us, and the fact that we were focusing more on how can we hurt the opposition more than how can we stop the opposition, was refreshing and encouraging. I think the fact that we dropped off a little in the second half and then we managed that game pretty well in that sense, I thought was also quite clever, and I thought the way we were springing on Brentford in that second half was quite impressive. So I think the substitutions worked. I thought Paulinho came on and just helped manage the game. top performance, and I think he managed the game fantastically. Can't really complain about anything.
Yeah, and like all the stories were there to be written before the game, weren't they? His old team that he's been with 9 years, coming to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Spurs on dreadful form, a lot of fans not seeing a light at the end of the tunnel, and then that happens. So it's great for everyone involved, apart from if you're a Brentford fan, obviously. But yeah, that is our player ratings from the 2-0 win against Brentford, and we're going to finish off the stream looking at how social media did react to the game. So let me just get that up. I'm sure there's some brilliant reactions across social media after that yesterday. And we're going to start off with, I think you might need to, do I need to refresh? Yeah, you need to refresh.
You need to refresh. No, I need to refresh.
Yeah, so this first one is the Rangers' new song for Mikey Moore. And by the way, Mikey Moore is absolutely cooking in Glasgow right now. So
Back from an injury.
Yeah, so just before the injury, he probably had his best performance in a Rangers shirt. And back from injury now in his first game, he's got a goal, he's got an assist, and he could have had another goal as well, which was ruled out by VAR, which with a lovely finish. So big up to Mikey Moore.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's the song? So they've got a song for him.
Mikey Moore.
Mikey Moore.
Sounds even better with the Scottish
He
accents.
gets the ball, he scores a goal.
Mikey Moore.
I love that. Absolutely love that. Mikey Moore, I saw an interview, he said he's shocked they've already got a song for him.
Yeah.
Love that.
So yeah, he's keep going
Great
from
goal as
strength
well.
to really
Great
good goal.
goal.
Even
Yeah.
the goal that
Yeah.
got ruled out was brilliant.
And he got an assist as well. So he came off the bench and got a goal and assist. So
Yeah,
it looks like the guy is finally in the groove.
absolutely. Showing the quality which we all knew he had. Squawk Alive saying no Tottenham player won more duels, which was 9, made more ball recoveries, which is 8, completed more take-ons, which is 5, or created more chances, which is 2 against Brentford than Mohamed Kudus yesterday.
Complete performance.
Yeah.
That's when you know he's at his best, when he's winning these duels, taking people on, being so aggressive and relentless. It's a joy to behold.
Tottenham tweeted out this saying scenes from N17. Some great pictures here, by the way. Look at that from Richarlison. The flying pigeon. It was Javi with his
Someone made the
celebration
call.
yesterday.
Someone made the call, and Javi answered. Come on.
That's a lovely one as well from the celebration for Javi's goal. And there's Van der Ven embracing Javi as well. You can see it, when he scored, the whole stadium just went absolutely mental. You could see it as well from his reaction, from the players' reaction, how much that moment meant.
It's a great goal, and yeah, you could see the weight's just lifted off his shoulders now because it was a long time coming. So hopefully that can really lead to him just kicking on now.
Yeah. And Javi Simmons himself tweeted out saying, "Enjoy your weekend, mate," to Jay. Is that actually Javi?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is actually Javi. So Jay tweeted out saying, "Javi Simmons goal and assist today, and Tottenham not to ruin my weekend." And Javi Simmons quote retweeted it saying, "Enjoy your weekend, mate." I love that.
Absolutely love that. Come on, Javi. Javi getting involved with the fans.
And Javi as well tweeted this out saying, "Trust the process. Come on, you Spurs." Look at that aggression in the celebration. Love that.
That's a lot of relief. And look, to be fair, he's been left out the team, hasn't he? So he probably came in with a bit of a point to prove, like, this is why you should be playing me every game. And
he
you can probably
proved it.
see that. You can probably see that on his face.
Absolutely, and he proved it.
He absolutely did.
EPL Bible saying red card or not. So this was Cuti Romero's challenge.
Yeah, for me, I mean,
It's a very
goes
dangerous
right
challenge.
through, he's a scissor kick. It's right on the cusp.
Gets the ball though.
He goes through him. It's definitely a foul. Yeah, it's hard to judge. I think if he could easily have got a serious injury from that. So I think he's lucky, to be honest.
It's reckless. It's
I
definitely reckless.
think if it's a red card, you can't have any complaints.
Yeah. Jay Harris saying Frank congratulates Javi, Spence and Gray at full time. Yeah, it was a lovely moment. I was following around Thomas Frank after the final whistle. So obviously he goes and shakes every Brentford managers and players and coaching staff's hand, and then he goes and he makes a beeline for Javi Simmons.
Bit of a worry there, though. If you look, Simmons limping a bit, isn't he? When maybe Frank's asking if he's okay. If you look at the when he first goes up to him, he's kind of limping, Xavi. Hopefully he's all right. And apparently Moani, we didn't mention that Moani's also was seen limping after the game. So hopefully these guys are going to be all right for Tuesday.
Yeah, you hope so. StatMuse says the only player with 3+ last man tackles in the Premier League. Wow.
I'm surprised it's Kuti and not Van der Ven.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Surely Van der Ven has at least 2.
Yeah, you'd think so. I would think he'd have at least 3, but
It's not, I mean, it's not great that he's making so many, but at least he's recovering the situation.
yeah. Spurs pictures that go hard. This is another one of the flying pigeon.
Come on.
Prue.
I love that. Look at literally the same pic. This is a couple of years ago. It's literally the same thing. Wow, how's that possible? That's crazy. How exactly similar they are.
If you picture 2 pigeons flying in the air, could you not get the same
Exactly.
same picture?
Both, you can't tell 2 pigeons apart.
Exactly. Statman Dave said Richarlison has scored 17 goals in his last 24 Premier League starts for Spurs, determined to lead the line for Brazil next summer.
I do think that helps that he's got that little bit extra motivation for the World Cup, doesn't it? In terms of it helps him find his best form, I think.
Yeah. It's true, but I don't like it when that's the kind of player's motivation. They should be like that every season, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's true, but if it gets him to play well for us, who cares?
Yeah, and then you got this season, then that's going to convince us to keep him, and then next season, no.
Well, at the
World Cup.
moment he's on track for at least 15 goals, you'd say, isn't he?
I wonder who made that prediction,
What?
that he's going to get 15 goals.
Did I make that prediction? I said he was going to be our top goal scorer.
Yeah,
That was my prediction, which is coming to fruition at the moment.
yeah, definitely is. You can't think of anyone else that is going to score more goals
Unless
than him, can you?
Moani starts scoring.
Yeah, he's got a lot of making up to do, though.
I mean, in all competitions, he's 5 behind because he got a brace against.
He hasn't got a Premier League goal yet.
Hasn't got a Premier League goal yet. Yeah.
Decky and me. So this is when Mohamed Kudus thought he scored. He ran straight for his stall, and unfortunately,
Yeah, we're all ready.
Celebrations got good.
Come on. Just couldn't. It's unfortunate for him. It was a great finish. It's so unfortunate that didn't come off for him. But yeah.
Seb Stafford Bloor says that was much more like RB Leipzig's Javi Simmons. His role in the Bundesliga was unusual, and there's no direct equivalent to it in this Spurs system, but he looks more comfortable today.
Yeah, and I think definitely, the key thing when I was comparing him maybe to how he was at Leipzig was that aggression. We just haven't seen enough of it. We have seen it, but I think yesterday he took it to a different level.
Like even in games where he's been so-called poor, like that Chelsea game, you know, when we were dreadful that day, like you still saw aggression from him.
Yeah.
Like he was like our last line of defence at some times. You know what I mean? Chris Cowlin saying half-time, Tottenham 2, Brentford 0, Spurs fan applauding the team off the pitch.
So did you witness the halftime thing they did? You know?
No, I didn't actually.
Go for a beer.
Well, I was there for the halftime whistle, but I just didn't witness. I just didn't take notice of it. But it's the same every week, so I don't know what more there is to witness.
I don't know. I was wondering do they wait? So they wait for the captain. Well, actually, Van der Ven's not the captain, is he? It would be Romero to lead the way. But looks like so they wait. They all wait in the centre circle and then wait for the captain, and then he leads them down the tunnel. A show of unity.
Yeah, solidarity. But yeah, like. Is there any complaints in the team meeting after today that the fans and the players have a big distance between them?
I don't think so. It's amazing. You play well and you win, and all of a sudden they have no complaints.
Exactly. Tottenham Hotspur tweeted this out saying, "Ring, ring, Javi's here."
Come on. He made the call. Fantastic. I'm just so happy for him. I'm so happy for him. He's able to whip out his celebration for the first time. Hopefully not the last time.
Yeah, it definitely won't be the last time. The Spurs pictures that go hard. This is another one of Javi, standing on the advertising hoardings and answering that call.
And Spence got his back, making sure he doesn't fall over. Love that.
Decky and me as well. This is you could just see the relief in his face there, Javi, can't you?
I think everyone's so happy for him. You can see that. It didn't mean so much to him. So yeah, look at that. Putting Porro as well because he played the pass. Oh, actually no, that was for the other goal. But yeah, fantastic.
Again, Decky and me. Look at this aggression from Cuti Romero. I love it.
They went from like bigging each other up to stopping Thiago to like, Kudus, what the F are you doing? And then half like congratulating themselves, like pumping each other up, like, oh, well, don't forget Kudus nearly screwed up.
He's basically going, Van de Ven, you've done very well by that. Kudus!
I love that. I love that from Kuti. But he's absolutely right. Kudus deserved an absolute earful after that, to be fair.
Yeah. SZY comps. So this
Xavi's
was
passion from Xavi after.
yeah.
I think that was after the assist. He was delighted with himself.
Love it.
Love the passion.
and that is it. That is it. That is how the internet did react to the game yesterday. A lot of great reactions, a lot of great moments. Spurs win a game at home for the first time since August, which is just crazy to think about. It really is. But hopefully,
Let's hope we don't have to wait another 5 months
Oh, mate.
for another home win.
let's
4
hope.
months.
Let's just hope this can kickstart our season now.
So what's our next few home games?
Liverpool next.
Liverpool, okay, that's a guaranteed win at the moment.
Arnie Slot will be gone by then.
Arnie Slot will be gone by then. Slot or Salah. Well, Salah can't play, can he? He's AFCON.
Yeah.
Liverpool, then what? Liverpool, then Sunderland, then West Ham. Come on, let's build some momentum. It all starts on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Big game on Tuesday.
Big game.
Big game. We need to win that. We need to win that.
I was saying it. If I think it's a realistic chance that we can take 9 points from the last 3 games. Do you think we need that to finish in the top 8?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think if
Can we afford to draw one?
If it's 7, there's a chance, but I would say if you want guaranteed top 8, you need the 3 wins. You're leaving up the chance if you only take a point in one of them. It's still a chance. I'm not.
You
saying
think it's guaranteed if we get 3 wins?
If you lose one, it's over. I think if we lose one, it's over.
Really?
Yeah. If it's only 6 points, we're not getting top 8 guaranteed.
I guess it depends who's playing who as well, because we
Yeah,
are
I
only
don't-
2 points outside the top 8.
I know, but there's so many teams in between, so you just need to take maximum points. Look, I don't know the fixtures to be honest, but for the other teams, but last season, the 8th place was 16 points. So if we win, if we get 7 points, that's 15 we got. So that's not guaranteed, is it? But
Yeah.
if we win all 3, that's 17. So you should be pretty comfortable with 17.
It's going to be. I think the last game is Dortmund at home, isn't it? Or was it Frankfurt away? No, Frankfurt away is the last game. So that one could be a bit. We just need to just keep on our job, win the home games, and then we'll see what happens on the last day. But we can beat Dortmund. There's no reason why we can't.
We'll talk about it tomorrow, but I wonder how much he'll rotate. If he'll rotate a lot, if he'll try and keep some. We've got a good thing here. Let's try and harness that as much as possible. Big decision tomorrow.
Yeah. All will be revealed tomorrow when we preview the Slavia Prague game. And I can't wait to get down there on Tuesday to see the whole Sonny mural. Obviously, I was there and saw it, nearly done.
Someone said, check Vusković's goal. Apparently, Vusković has scored a banger.
Really?
Let me see. See if we can bring it up.
This guy, man. This guy.
Oh, wow.
Come on, let's see it.
Oh, my word. Oh, my God. He just did a Zlatan backheel volley.
Let me see it. I haven't seen it. Put it up, mate. I want to see this.
God. I don't know if that's the best video of it. Maybe this one.
This Luka Vusković, man.
This is
What can this man
insane.
not do? And I haven't even seen it yet. Come on.
This is insane.
do, man? We've got a generational talent. Bring him home. Oh, mate.
Insane. He's just scored a Zlatan-esque.
No matter what you put in front of this guy, he flourishes.
It's nuts.
I reckon he gets minutes at the World Cup.
Oh, they said we were muted. Oh, sound's gone.
The sound's going up for the video up.
Ah. So while we were watching the video, if you saw the goal, he scored a Zlatan back heel volley. That's the best way I can describe it. Insane.
Mate, I'm just in shock watching that goal. This is an 18-year-old centre-back.
Oh, my God.
Any sort of...
I can't believe I've just witnessed. Cannot believe I've just witnessed. Sammy Mockbell?
Why are people saying Basuma's got arrested?
What?
What is going on?
We're about to end the stream and it's all kicking off now.
Oh, here we go. Exclusive. A 29-year-old international footballer arrested in central London on suspicion of 2 counts of assault and one of affray during the early hours of Saturday morning. Player bailed pending further investigation.
That's what they're saying it's Basuma.
I mean, that's
Is
what
Basuma-
someone in the
is
comments
Basuma
said.
29 or is he 30?
He is 29, yeah. But there are plenty of players in the Premier League that are 29.
yeah. An international...
Central London,
footballer,
no?
Central London. He cannot be named. The alleged victim was taken to hospital with injuries which police said were not believed to be life-changing or life-threatening. The player's been released on bail. Okay, I mean, I guess it could be him.
Could be, but there's
It says if he's charged, he'll be named, but they can't name him right now. Okay, well, who knows?
Look, we'll have to wait and see who it is, because there's no
evidence.
there's no evidence it's Basuma.
People are saying he took the laughing gas on a mad one. Is that what people are saying?
Oh, God. All right, let's end the stream there. But thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We'll see you tomorrow for Champions League preview day. And, like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
Come on, you Spurs.